In this video, we will be exploring Pipe Spring National Monument, a little-known park with significant history in the American Southwest. I'll show you around and get into the fascinating story of this site. So, let's get started. Pipe Spring National Monument is located in the northern part of Arizona, near the Utah border, an area known as the Arizona Strip. Why is Pipe Spring special? Because of a consistent spring on the site, a precious resource in the desert. This valuable resource is the source of conflicts in the late 1800s. The Puebloans settled in the area from 300 BC to about 1000 AD. Disappeared, then the Paiutes settled in the area starting around 1100. Catholic missionaries were the first Europeans to meet the Paiutes in 1776. Starting in 1847, before the Mormons arrived, the Navajo and the Utes Indians, as well as the Spanish and European Americans, raided the Paiutes to capture people for the slave trade. The Mormons visited in 1858 and soon settled near the spring. They helped to end the slave trade. With the ranching by the Mormons, the cattle was grazing land that the Indians, or the Paiutes, were counting on for their subsistence, living, and survival. And pretty soon, the cattle was just eating up all of the grass, and it was overgrazing. So that naturally sends into conflict between the Paiutes and the Mormons, and then of course the federal government came in and wanted to exert authority over everything. So the three were definitely in conflict here. A ranch was established at Pipe Spring in the early 1860s. At its peak, there were over 2,000 heads of livestock at the ranch. In the 1860s, the Navajos raided the Mormon settlement for livestock, resulting in people killed on both sides. The Mormons and the Paiutes formed an alliance to fight the Navajos. A peace treaty between the Mormons and the Navajos was signed in 1870, which ended the raids. A fort known as Windsor Castle, named after the Superintendent Anson Windsor, was started in 1870 and completed in 1872 to protect the site from Indian raids. But because of the peace treaty, the fort was never attacked. The first white man to claim Pipe Spring was James Montgomery Whitmore in 1863. He built a ranch and planted fruit trees and a grape vineyard. Whitmore died at the hands of the Indians. His widow sold the ranch to the Church of the Latter-day Saints in 1870. In the 1870s, Pipe Spring was a Mormon outpost with a prospering ranch. As the heat came down from the U.S. government on polygamy, the Mormons used the remote location of Pipe Spring to hide the plural wives in the 1880s. The ranch was sold to B.F. Saunders in 1895 and went through several hands before it was sold to the National Park Service in 1923. In 1907, some of the land was given back to the Native Americans as a small reservation. President Harding declared Pipe Spring a national monument in 1923. Pipe Spring is worth spending an hour or two to explore the visitor center, the outdoor exhibits, the fort, and a short hiking trail, especially if you're interested in the history of this area. The entrance fee is $10. It's free with a National Park Pass. The visitor center has exhibits and a film that is well worth the time to learn about its history. The Pipe Spring Monument has a bunch of different examples of life that was here in the late 1800s. And right now we're looking at a corral for longhorns. And you can see that they're in the shade over there. And this is what a corral looks like, I suppose. And then over here it looks like a vegetable garden of some sort with gourds. Look at that growing. This is what a typical home looks like for the Paiute Indians. Looks like a chicken coop. The fort. Yes. This be the fort. A view of the fort that was built in the 1870s by the Mormons and used as the living quarters for people who are running the ranch. This fort was built right on top of Pipe Spring, very precious water source out here in the desert in the Kabak Plateau. And the Mormons basically came over and took over the Pipe Spring and drove the Paiutes out of the water source. But eventually, after many years, a settlement was made to have the federal government, the Mormons, and the Paiutes each take an equal part of the water rights here. So the water from the Pipe Spring is still flowing here, because this fort was built right on top of the spring, and this is being diverted to this room, and this is considered the cool room, where they put cheese and milk and stuff like that in. There's a second building that served as the headquarters of the trading post, and a pond that hosts a precious resource in the desert: water. The short half-mile ridge trail gives you a good view of the Arizona Strip. Guided tours are available. Check the website for the schedule. So, there you have it. A brief overview of Pipe Spring National Monument and its history. If you are interested in the history of the American Southwest, Pipe Spring is an excellent visit. We are on our way to visit all the national parks in the United States. Follow along by hitting the subscribe button below. Hit the notification bell so you know when a new video is released. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and please share it with everybody that you know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.